All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 161st and River. I want to start with a few things before we get into the official stuff that we're going to talk about on this episode. Number one, to those of you who are trying to join in on the live streams, whether on YouTube, X, various accounts, I apologize. The Wi-Fi was not working, and neither site was allowing me to share content. So I thought the easiest way to do this would be just to pre-record an episode, which isn't my favorite because I did want to do a live and interact with people. But for today, that's what had to happen. So I apologize about that. Second of all, Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome to 2026. We are about 3 months away, a little less than 3 months away from opening day, which is March 25th in San Francisco for the Yankees. So a lot to be excited about. And let's talk some off season. So a couple things have already come out in the new year. Some new year, new information. Except one of the nuggets kind of came out last year for me, but we'll talk about it. First, this morning, or at 12:01 p.m., it comes out from John Heyman of the Post that Tatsuya Imai has signed with the Houston Astros. That was kind of a surprise to everybody because the Astros weren't really reported to be interested in Imai, but they were the eventual suitor. So that's there. Um, the Yankees weren't involved, and there were multiple reasons for this. There were a lot of reasons why the Yankees were not involved in the Tatsuya Imai sweepstakes. One of them, they weren't in love with the player. When the Yankees love a player, and I mean love, very few things get in their way of getting that player. They didn't love him. Therefore, they were obviously they loved Soto. That was a different circumstance. They loved they loved Yamamoto. That was a different circumstance as well. They didn't love Imai. And obviously, the rest of the league didn't love Imai, or else he would have gotten a different contract. So Imai's off the market. We'll see. He has opt-outs after every year. It's the third highest AAV for a Japanese starting pitcher behind Tanaka and Yamamoto. As I noted here, he's also, and I found this interesting doing research this morning. He was the first Japanese pitcher or Japanese player to sign with the Astros since 2007. I forget what his name was. I put it. It's in my column. Oh, it's right in front of him. Kazuo Masui. It's right in front of my face. But I did write it before. I'm like that. I'm like, because I read, for the Yankee, because I thought a month ago he was going to be a Yankee, and then the interest kind of, I guess the deeper they dug, the less interest they found. At like last time the Yankees side, a starter out of Japan was Tanaka. I'm like, okay, I'll add that. So I want to add for the Astros. Here's the Yankee part of this. Comes out like an hour later from the New York Post. The Yankees are now showing interest in Bo Bichette. They're shopping Jazz Chisholm, it seems, like more than ever they're taking calls on Chisholm. And they have made a formal offer to Cody Bellinger. The Yankees, from what it sounds like and from what's being rumored and heard around the league, are really the only team with like legit interest in Bellinger. There's only so much longer Boris is going to be able to drag this one out. I don't know when I'd say to expect a resolution. I'll say this. I'll be kinda surprised if he's not a Yankee because it just seems like there's no one else really, really interested around the league in Bellinger, so we'll see. I love Bellinger. And it seems like Bichette's the backup plan, not Tucker, which, we kinda knew. I could also see this Bichette thing being a ploy, kinda like, for, uh for, like, Toronto's purposes of, like, Toronto, the Yankees are involved, come on, let's do it." Um, so I do wonder about that, um, but I think we could see a Cody Bellinger resolution soon. Soon could be the second I click and record, and before you even see this episode, we're recording a whole new thing. Soon could also be Sunday. I think we'll have one soon. The reason I think that is because once a deal's done for Bellinger, other things are going to be put into motion. The notion and the characteristic from Yankee fans going absolutely ballistic this morning on the Imai non-signing to the Yankees is frankly unbelievable. Number one, Jack Curry told you all last week the Yankees were not signing Tetsuya Imai. He told us. Whether you want to believe it or not is a different story. He told you they weren't signing him. Whether that's smart on the Yankees' behalf or not is a different story. But Curry told you that he wasn't coming. So fine. That's great. That also doesn't mean they're not going to sign a pitcher. Brian Cashman literally said at the meetings that he wants to add another pitcher. If the price is right, he's going to do it. And you have to think the way they've held in on the Bellinger sweepstakes so far makes you kind of say to yourself, they know they can screw around a little bit with time here. Right? Last year, remember, Soto came off the market, bang, free the next 2 days later. Bang, Bellinger 3 weeks later. Bang, Williams in the middle. They had a plan. They have a plan now. If Bellinger doesn't come off the market, or if Bellinger goes elsewhere, they're going to go and try and sign Bichette, and then they'll figure out shortstop. Whether that means they trade Anthony Volpe, whether that means they trade Jazz Chisholm, which I think is becoming more and more and more of a reality as the days go by, from Jazz's Twitter escapades last week to the front office just totally not in love with him. I don't see him being here long term. I'm getting closer to the point where I'd be shocked if he were here on opening day. That's where I stand with Jazz. And that's not me saying I don't like Jazz because I think Jazz is a fantastic player. I think he's a really good guy. I have my doubts of how his dynamic and the way he plays and all that is going to play in New York long term. And I think the Yankees have that same sentiment they share about him. That doesn't mean they love him. That just means they're not 100% on the guy. And they're allowed to not be 100% on the guy. At the end of the day, it's their team. And they can do whatever they want. Now, it's funny that this comes out today. Yesterday, I was trying to decide about something to write about because it's been such a dull and boring off season. This will be updated after the stream and I get everything, situated and squared away. But I'm like, you know what? I think the Yankees should go out and sign Bo Bichette. I'm sitting here yesterday. I'll be honest, I was listening to former WFAN host Brandon Tierney. I was listening to his new podcast, and he was talking about Bichette, and I'm like, okay, I kind of like this. So I wrote like the Yankees should be interested in Bichette, and my subtitle was the Yankees need a right-handed hitter. Bo Bichette should be on their list. I talked about the qualifying offer, and the Yankees have been sitting on two ideas. They have a very good team, and they are two left-handed, and Bo Bichette would fit them perfectly. I went on later on to mention, obviously, I included a box with his number. Um, this is great. The Yankees need a right-handed hitter, and they need a leadoff hitter. Could you imagine a lineup? Bichette, Rice, Judge. Then you figure out the four hole, Stanton, or because they're so left-handed they can't afford to do Judge and Stanton back to back. So they have to figure something out there. That's a legit lineup because Bichette gets on base and he hits. Rice can hit a home run, and he's a damn good hitter. And the batting average was more indicative of bad luck than inability to hit. Judge is Judge. Don't know who you'd bat for in this hypothetical situation. Maybe Wells, his best times were hitting fourth. If you look at his career so far, albeit small, his best numbers were when he was batting cleanup in 2024 behind Soto and Judge. So maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need to bat him fourth. Stanton five. Who are you batting around? Because Wells can still hit a home run like the best of them. He strikes out a lot, but he can still hit home runs like the best of them. So who's it going to be? And then you go down the list. I think McMahon's going to look a little bit different. I think Caballero batting ninth is going to be great for the team because it's going to pretty much be back-to-back leadoff hitters. Or even if they have him eighth and McMahon ninth, I think that works. Or if the Yankees just want it to be the Yankees, the lineup opening day could be Bichette, Rice, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, uh, Wells, no, Chisholm, Caballero, Wells, McMahon. There's your opening day lineup. If they wanted to beat the Yankees, that's what they would do. Now, I think if they were to get Bichette, he'd be at second base. I mentioned right here, um, hit the defensive metrics. He negative 12 DRS, negative 13 outs above average at shortstop. So I said what the Yankees could do is put Bichette at short for the 26th season, and when Jazz Chisholm Jr. walks to free agency or gets traded, Bichette can move over to second. And when Giancarlo Stanton inevitably has his annual stay on the injured list, Bichette could DH, and Anthony Volpe or Jose Caballero could slide into shortstop. If the defense is such a problem, that's what you do. Or you could just live with the defense because the hitting's so good. Look at this. His batting average in an injured season was 311. Played 139 games. In his career, his batting average is close to 300. 18 home runs. He's had power issues, but Yankee Stadium short porch would be really good for him. OPS mid eights, WAR 3.5 this year, 21 career WAR. His numbers were up this year in an injured season and in a half cut season. He'd be a great fit in that clubhouse. And wouldn't it be nice for the Yankees to steal a cornerstone piece of that Astros team? I don't care if they signed Tucker. They aren't the same without Bichette. Did anything Kyle Tucker did this season, and this is why the Yankees aren't really in on him right now. All right, so let's put our thinking caps on here and not just be Yankee bias here. Did anything Kyle Tucker did with the Cubs this year really, really impress you? And I get, and the thing is, yeah, well, he was hurt. He was hurt and still put up a 260. He wasn't great this year. Yes, Wrigley Field didn't help him because it doesn't help lefties. I just hear glass and I'm like, I don't know what that was. Wrigley Field does not help left-handed batters. We know this. It happened with Bellinger. I also just don't think Kyle Tucker's worth the amount of money he thinks, and the Yankees are along the lines of right now. The Yankees think right now that they could just sign Cody Bellinger, and they know Bellinger fits. The Yankees also know they have a price on Cody Bellinger that they're not going to go over because they aren't going to go over that price. Um, other than that I don't see anything else going down. I mean, they're going to get a Bellinger deal done really, really quickly. I think it's gonna get done very soon. The reason I think it's gonna get done very, very soon is because I think Bellinger wants to be here, and I think Bellinger's done. I think it's like, all right, I want to know where I'm heading in January, right? I want to be where I want to be, and I think the Yankees know that once they get a deal done for him, that they will then be able to go out and get a starter, and they need a bullpen. All right, I don't know what the hell they're thinking. This bullpen is horrible compared to the rest of the league. Let's pull up the bullpen graphic. I know I talk about it every episode. We're going to talk about it again. Their bullpen is not as good as they think it is. I don't know why they thought or why they think this bullpen is good. This bullpen stinks compared to the rest of the league. And what other teams and CBT's like retweeting right now, beating the drum about Bichette. And I agree with that. I think Bichette should be more of a priority than other guys. People are disgusted because the Mets didn't get Imai. Neither team was in on Imai because both teams knew what both teams knew. The Yankees' ninth inning is solid. The rest of it's going to be a freaking disaster if they don't go get someone. Tyler Kopech, Milo sell high option. He's still on the market. Sir Anthony Dominguez can pitch in the American League East. He's done it for his whole career. Go get him. Those are two guys right there that you could get on 1 year deals with options that could come in here. They both have experience in the seventh and eighth innings. They bump other guys down in the pecking order, and you add even one of them, your bullpen's better. Paul Blackburn, don't trust him much, and the Yankees see him as a reliever. Cade Winquest, I don't know what he's going to do. He might be great in spring training and suck when he gets up here, and that should be a concern for them. Jake Bird stunk last year. It's optioned him 2 days after trading for him, and the other guys, you know, Fernando Cruz, I trust a little bit. Tim Hill, I trust. Bednar, I trust. Duvall, I like Duvall. I'm gonna trust Duvall. So the top four here are fine. Even Fernando Cruz, I'm a little like, I don't know about him. But the bottom half, that's why if you add another starter, then you could put Yarborough back there and you could really beef up the bullpen and see like really what you have. There's a path for them to do this. They just have to do it. And I think Bellinger signing soon is going to help their offseason. If Bellinger signs tomorrow with the Yankees, then it's going to be like, okay, now we can trade Jones or Dominguez. If that's what they're waiting on, okay, has the plan been any more obvious? They're waiting on Cody Bellinger to sign with them so that they can then trade Spencer Jones and or Jason Dominguez for a starting pitcher and maybe a starting pitcher and a reliever. I would be on the phone with Milwaukee and try and get McGill and Peralta. That would be the move for me. Because then your starting rotation set, your bullpen's pretty set, and your lineup then, because you got Bellinger back, is set and you're done. They haven't done much because there isn't much to do. They need a starter. They need a reliever because then what you could do is you could put Luis Hill in the bullpen and see how that looks. If he gets an extended spring training of okay, let's see what the relief market looks like for him. Let's see if he's better in the bullpen than he was in the rotation last year. This could work. There's a way to do it. And if I were the Yankees and Bellinger's market gets out of hand, I would just go and sign Bichette. Right-handed stick. He would have pop at Yankee Stadium. Sure, the defense is a concern. You either put him at shortstop, and then you could platoon the two. Yeah, and then you'd have to sign like an Austin Hayes type to platoon with Jason in the outfield. And I think your lineup is better. Honestly, your lineup might be better. because you have an actual leadoff hitter. That's actually I'd probably prefer getting Bichette and Austin Hayes over getting Cody Bellinger at this point because Bichette would go to shortstop. Yeah, he looked horrible defensively there, but the offense is so much better. And you know what? If they then were to trade Jazz, would I feel the same way? I don't know. Do I think Volpe has some potential? They do. I don't. I think Volpe's a wash. But I also think, what next year? Are they gonna have to then go sign Nico Horner next offseason? I wouldn't be opposed to it. A lot of decisions here. And it seems like Cashman, as the days go by, is gonna have to make one of those so-called challenge trades that he loves to make. I can't wait to see what that is. But can they do something, please, within like the next 3 days? So we have like something to look forward to? Because right now this is depressing. Looking on Yankees Twitter and all the freaking pessimism from the pessimistic monsters that are on there, that everything is always negative, is depressing. No, the Yankees offseason isn't done yet. They're not just gonna do this and call it an offseason. That's not happening. But they do need to do something because this is getting old. I'm gonna end it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I apologize about the live streams. We should have that fixed by next time. And we'll go live if the signing happens. And hopefully that's soon because this is getting restless. Have a nice day. Go Yankees.